How's it going, everyone? Sethphir here, and today we are back again with another Tower of Fantasy video. Today we are going to be doing a guide on class roles. I'm going to explain what all of those are and their bonuses and give some tips and tricks that are going to help you along the way when deciding what role you want to adventure into and focus on, and how to have the ability to access all these roles if needed in a given time. So as we can see on the main website here, we see these characters, and you can see this little shield icon below the elemental type of a weapon, this one being ice, and then a sort of shield. That means it's a tank role weapon. There are also the DPS role, and finally there is a healer role as well, so these icons will be pretty recognizable throughout the game. Now we're going to hop over to another website so that we can take a full look at what these roles do and kind of explain why you would want to focus on each one. Let's go ahead and do that right now. Alright, here we are on the Tower of Fantasy wiki website. I'll go ahead and link that down in the description below. Make sure to check them out. They have a lot of decent information about the game. But as you can see here, this system is going to be called Resonance. It's just a class role, and it's going to give you a buff based on how many characters you have equipped with that type of resonance or class role. So you can have 3 characters or simulacrum equipped at a given time, so that's going to mean that you need 2 of those characters to be the same type in order to achieve some sort of a role. If you do not achieve a role, it's going to be under a no resonance category, which is a miscellaneous, and you will get final damage increased by 5%, as well as 20% increased damage in group play. Now, this is not a big buff considering the other ones have higher benefits, so that would just be something if you maybe at the start of the game did not have all the correct weapons and you had one of each type and that was what you got, right? That's the best you had. So it's something, but it's not too amazing. So next we'll jump into the DPS role, which when you equip 2 attack weapons, you're going to get your final damage increased by 10%, and when you're in a party, your final damage is increased by 40%. This is quite a large jump, and it is very necessary for you to have multiple DPS players within a party, especially for this 40% DPS boost, because it is going to be a very big difference in the damage charts. And yes, there are damage charts in every single dungeon, so you'll be able to see how much DPS a given player is doing. Final damage is just referring to the end result after all calculations go off for level differences and everything like that, right? And whether it was or was not a crit. So it's just increasing that end result by a flat percent. Next, we have the important one, which is going to be the tank role. You're going to need one of these in most parties, and you will also need one of the healer. But the tank, if you have 2 weapons on from the tank role, you will get a damage reduction increase by 25%, so you're taking 25% less damage. And then the important part, which is the shield breaking efficiency, increased by 60%. This is going to allow you to destroy enemy shields, and if you don't know what that is in this game, enemies will put on a shield, and it's very, very frequent. Any powerful or elite or boss enemy will have some sort of type of shield, and while that shield is up, they will take 50% reduced damage from all incoming sources, and it can take quite a while to deplete. There are some weapons that excel at breaking shields, but the tank bonus will allow you to excel even more at breaking those shields, so it's necessary to have one of these in each party in order to destroy the shield so that your other DPS players can start doing full damage again. It will also increase your hatred or revenge status by 600%, so that means that you are constantly sort of mini-taunting the boss based off of your damage. So as long as you are doing relevant or decent damage for your level, you will be holding aggro on pretty much all enemies. I have seen some instances where some DPS players do way more damage than what the tank can hold, and that can be very scary. So if you are a DPS or a tank player, make sure that you know that your job is to hold enough aggro, but mostly to do damage as well, right? There is no, I just do tanking or just healing in this game. Throw that concept out the window. You need to do a lot of damage and fulfill your job role, which may happen to be tanking or keeping the group alive at the same time. So that's what it's going to be. And then in group play, you're going to get an additional 20% increase in damage reduction, which is what's going to allow you to survive these big boss hits. 45% damage reduction is no joke, and it will make it easy for your healer to heal you up and keep you at high health while you turn that boss in a direction that's not facing your entire group, so that your DPS players can get back attacks and get all kinds of good hits without being interrupted from damage. The final role is going to be the healing role. If you have 2 or more support weapons, your healing done is going to be increased by 100%, and if you are in a party, it will be increased by another 100%. This is very, very, very crucial. If somebody is healing in your party, they will need 2 support weapons equipped to get the full value of healing. I have seen some people run with 1 support weapon, mainly Coco, and use that with 2 DPS weapons to keep the group up, and you can do that in very high high combat rating, high priority groups that are really on point. It is possible for you to have a hybrid healer, like a damage that has just 1 support weapon on. So that is something that you can do. But for most content and probably pushing into the more end game content, it would be a little bit better to have a dedicated person in each of these roles. And then finally, I will wrap all of this up with these roles are very flexible. It is depend on what weapons or simulacrums you equipped. And oftentimes, as a DPS player, I found myself using some tank weapons to tank when necessary, and also using the tank weapons in the bygone phantasm, which is the ladder that you climb for PvE. It is actually more damage to get this 60% shield break in a single person party, whereas you're just getting 10% final damage for the attack boost. Since you're not in a party, you're not getting the full 40%, so I have found it a lot better to use the tank role while I was doing the climb for the PvE ladder, even as a DPS player. So I would equip 2 tank weapons and then have 1 DPS weapon, and that's how I would play. So that was definitely something to keep an eye out for. And I do also recall several times where I was trying to do a dungeon or a daily, and I wanted to spend some of my vitality, which is this little currency you get every day. Think of it like energy from, all these other gacha games. So basically you want to spend that, and we just didn't have a healer, so we couldn't do the run. The queues would take forever, like auto queue if you're trying to queue as DPS. So sometimes it's easier to just slap on a healing weapon and call it a day and get in there, and everything is fine from that point out. So that's going to be a good overview of the class role systems. You can dedicate towards one, but do keep in mind that you probably want to be a bit flexible in what you choose to do, because it's going to allow you to play with more diverse groups of people. And if your main group isn't on, you can kind of fill the gaps for some other parties and get in or through the queue systems for the dungeons or whatever that activity may be in your own, at your own pace. It's going to be a lot faster than if you were going solo. All right, that's going to be it for the explanation of the class roles. Go ahead and comment down below. I am curious, what role do you plan to play? The attack, the tank, or the healing? That's kind of your holy trinity that you see in a lot of these MMO games, so let me know which one you are interested in. All right, that's going to be it for this video, everyone. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe, like, and hit the bell button down below for more content. We will definitely be taking a look at more Tower of Fantasy. We will also be touching back a little bit on some New World content. I know a lot of you are here for some New World. We will be keeping an eye on that. We're seeing the Melody Fair play out and how that works, and I'm kind of waiting on some raid content or some more in-game content to be introduced, and I will probably be back in there getting some good guides and information covering that. And then we are also going to be checking out WoW Dragonflight as it comes out towards the end of the year, so that's something I'm excited to kind of get back in. I do miss a strong MMO where I can do raids and arena, and I definitely am a big arena fan. I love playing PvP in those games, so that's probably what I'll be checking out. Most likely playing Demon Hunter and probably Evoker. So those are going to be the two classes I'll be focusing on, but of course I'll be bringing you information like, mistakes to avoid and how to get your raid gear set up for mythic raiding as fast as possible, and a couple of maybe tier lists for the class in terms of PvP and PvE that I feel are there, and then we'll kind of check out that and go from that pace. All right, once again, thanks for watching, and we will catch you in the next video.